All right, so to-go bag includes a few of these tools. When a machine isn't online, or if it isn't behaving like it should be, let's just say the Wi-Fi is not working, or when I install Windows, the driver needs to be installed for the internal Wi-Fi card. I have this. This is a USB memory stick. It is old. It's a D-Link. I think it's a wireless N card or USB antenna. So I plug this in. Windows includes the driver. I have a couple of these floating around. I actually I had one. I don't remember where it came from, but because it works so reliably, I got another one on Amazon just so I have two of them floating around. I plug this in, and then the computer has Wi-Fi. So when I'm doing a fresh install of Windows, which is my bread and butter, I do that all the time. And it's a great way to make a machine more reliable. Just totally wipe everything, get rid of all the Dell utilities or HP utilities that comes with the machine. That's part of why you pay what you pay for the machine. If you're paying $1,000 for a computer, a PC anyway, part of that cost is delegated by the amount of junkware that gets installed on the machine at the factory. So let's just say you pay $800 or whatever random number you paid for. The reason it costs more is because McAfee paid 20 bucks, 30 bucks. I don't know what the number is, but you got the McAfee virus, you got the Norton virus, you got all the other utilities from Dropbox. So that dumbs the cost of the machine down a little bit, and we all get stuck with that. And to make it a more reliable machine, just download a copy of Windows 11. 10 will be done in October, so I don't even need to talk about that. But when you install 11, it will be nothing but the factory copy of Windows, minus the crap from Dell or Acer or HP. Anyone who installs a crap down by the clock, you don't want that stuff. It slows you down, makes you unreliable. One time someone brought me a laptop, and the laptop stopped working out of the box. I knew it had to be a software issue. The keyboard stopped working. What probably happened is some utility was versioned untested with whatever version of Windows came on the machine. So there was a conflict. Let's just say it was Dropbox. The version of Dropbox conflicted with the machine booting as Windows did its regular updates. I don't know exactly what happened, but I had a hunch it was a software issue. So I simply took my copy of Windows. Here's the other part that I always keep with me. I have a handful of these. I got like 6 of them floating around. These all have Windows 11. So this is how you install Windows. You download the utility. You can either download the ISO and use another utility to extract the ISO, or you can use the media creation tool that comes from Microsoft's website, and it gets shoved onto this 8 gig stick. I have like 10 of them in here. So it also, I have a couple 16 gigs to install third-party drivers. So this is the other utility I always have with me. I have a couple copies of 10 still, but I'm about to wipe them because in October I'm telling everyone I'm not working on your Windows 10 machines anymore. So this is the other utility or tool that I keep with me. So this is a wireless N legacy device, so I can plug it in, not worry having to install drivers, and we're good. USB stick has Windows 11, and we're good. The other thing I have is this plastic little knife looking thing. It's called a spudger. This little roller here is used to pry things apart, mainly for things like the iMac screen, because the little tape or the double stick tape that comes in the kit to repair that machine comes with this. You use this end to pry stuff apart, and then this thing, you roll the tape apart, and then the iMac just gives up the screen. The screen comes apart after you roll through the tape. This is a spudger. They're literally a dime a dozen. They're so cheap because they're just disposable plastic. So I got a bunch of these with me. The other thing is, sometimes Wi-Fi, like I said, getting it to go is not an option. If I can't get it online because I can't load a driver, well, it's more time consuming to install a driver. It's just easier to install Ethernet, because Ethernet drivers usually, almost always, come with Windows. Wi-Fi drivers, maybe 50% of the time, Wi-Fi will be included under the hood. So USB-A, Ethernet. Easy way for me to get Windows 11, because the latest versions of Windows 11 require you to get online unless you do some hacking. I'm not even going to have that conversation right now. So here's a more extravagant version of what I just spoke of. This one is USB-C for the more modern machines, but as you'll notice, it's got HDMI, camera memory, USB-A, USB-A, and a pass-through USB-C, so it charges as it gives up, let's just say, one port. If the machine only has one port, you don't want to give up your charging ability when you're working for hours on the laptop. So Ethernet on the end. That's the #1 used port. And then, of course, it adds the legacy, because I don't have, well, I do actually nowadays. I have a USB-C memory stick right here. So I think, I forgot what I loaded on this. I think it's got a copy of Windows, but a lot of my tools too. So USB-C and USB-A. Eventually USB-A will be gone, but I think it'll be a while because it's been around since the late 90s. But yeah, that's another tool. This, I'm not going to fidget with it too much. You're going to have to use your imagination. Is a USB-C adapter, and what's inside it, or right now it's empty, but a M2 SSD goes in here. So if I have to transfer data, I'll often take the original drive, install this, then plug it in the side, and then it's a USB stick. And if you really want, you can use this as a external portable device. So you put in a halfway performing SSD that's fast, and it's going to perform faster than something like this that costs $10 at Costco. So if you want to put like a 4 terabyte M2 SSD in this thing, it will be a lot faster than a very large one of these. A lot of my customers, some of my customers have actually brought me like terabyte versions of this. They're so slow, and then they don't last as long. They wear out faster. That's why they're cheap. But if you spend $200 on an M2, plus this, I think I paid $30 or $40 for, then you get a nice, fast, durable. This thing is made out of metal, so it is very durable, and it lights up when you plug it in. So that's another tool I use to get stuff off of an M2 drive, usually when I'm doing an upgrade. I have a tape, measuring tape, and of course a myriad of screwdrivers. I don't need to show you my collection of screwdrivers. Phillips, Hex, those fancy Apple-y ends on the end. I have some pliers to hold certain like standoffs on a motherboard from twisting when I have to get the screws out. Some of the screwdrivers are really long, so I can dig into a desktop without my man hands getting in the way. The other thing I usually keep with me, because interfacing with the computer is part of the problem, I have a $10 mouse all ready to go. This thing has never even been used, but I know one of these days I'm going to show up and someone's going to have a dead mouse and they're going to blame it on the computer. So what I do is plug this in, confirm it is a mouse failure and not a USB failure, or this is just a $10 plug-in mouse. That's why I hate wireless. And a lot of my customers insist on doing wireless keyboards and mice. It pisses me off. So, of course, I do have a few supplies. I have some RAM. This is DDR4, but I should be carrying DDR5 for troubleshooting, and since it's not really used, to sell. What else do I have? Oh, a 2 terabyte M2 here, right? As I speak of the devil, 2 terabyte M2 WD black. So if I don't sell this in the next 2 or 3 months, I'll probably just keep it for myself, because prices will have dropped in 3 to 6 months. But up to 5,000 megabytes per second. That's a lot faster than a $10 SSD, or a little thumb drive. So yeah, I keep this with me to troubleshoot and potentially sell a customer. And here's our old SATA version of the same thing. Slower, but still faster than mechanical drive. It's a 1 terabyte. Those are the most common failures. SSD actually do fail, about as common as a mechanical drive under normal conditions. They're only more reliable when they sit on a shelf unused. So just so you know, some people just assume SSDs, because they are the new technology and they don't have any moving parts, that it's a more reliable technology. It's not. Ha. So this is just a little antenna. All it does, or it's an extension cable. Technically, it's just a USB-A extension cable, but you can imagine this dock here, this little piece of rubber, it is actually to put, where is it? This thing here into that. So for permanent use, if it's a desktop, it just sits on your desk, because antennas always work best when they're tall and high up. So you plug this in. This is probably a 4-foot cable, and this is my USB wireless D-Link. If I was to use this full time, I'd plug it into this little dock. I don't remember where it came from, but I figured it would be worth having. I'll just sell it or give it to a customer at some point in the coming months. All right, so the only other thing, no, I have a couple other things I can show you here. I don't have the other half of this with me because it doesn't fit in my little toolbox here, but this is for testing Ethernet. It has 8 little lines. Each of these little dots or lights up, telling you that your Ethernet with its 8 wires is good. I don't have the rest of the thing with me, but you plug this in, which has no battery, and then you plug the battery powered end into the other end, and up to, technically speaking, Ethernet's supposed to go up to 300 feet, but that's not practical. You plug it in up to a cable, and it will light up this device, and it'll either be in sequence, which it should be, or if none of them light, or if one of them doesn't light, then you know you have an issue, or if they're out of order, because obviously all 8 need to be in a proper order for your Ethernet to work. So if you're making your own Ethernet cables, this is a $30 device. I don't have the other half of it with me. It's piled away in another bag. And what else do I have? And just the other day I decided it was going to be worth having this little brick here. This will test for ground and continuity, so that when a machine doesn't turn on, there's been a few occasions where the power to the house was sketchy, because a lot of houses are half a century old or older. Checks for open ground, open neutral, open hot, ground reversed, hot neutral reversed, or correct. So you're reading that? Yeah. Camera does not want to focus. But anyway, this was a $10 gadget. Definitely worth checking for when you're in a home where power might be suspect. And I think, oh, you know what? I also have this. This is a USB, because we're transitioning with the USB. USB-A is going to be around for a long time, but some of the newer laptops don't have USB-A. I have a USB-A to USB-C adapter. And really the reason I bought these is because I got hung up. I bought a USB hard drive from my Amazon, and the notes didn't tell me if it came with one of these. A lot of the drives you buy these days for 60 bucks don't come with one of these. So you either get stuck with a USB-A or a USB-C. So it's really frustrating, because a lot of them do actually come with that, but Amazon doesn't necessarily tell you if the one you're buying comes with this little adapter, which you would buy separately. You can buy them in bundles, but as an individual, it's probably a $6 or $7 device. So it gets really frustrating when you think you got everything you need, and then this new computer you're getting paid to set up doesn't accommodate a USB-A connection. So there we go. These are available everywhere. Best Buy and Costco seems to be the only place locally you can buy this stuff anywhere. Best Buy actually has improved themselves since Fry's Electronics failed. You can actually build a computer out of most of what they have. Their selection's kind of crappy, but if you had to build a computer today, you could. Well, Fry's always suck too, but I think this is my last gadget of the day. So this is by Thermaltake. So one of the components your desktop computer has is its power supply. It's a new to me tool. I've had a few of them in the past, but I needed a new one, and this one actually has a screen. The other ones that I had didn't have quite as many features, I guess. But anyway, you plug in either your old Molex, your PCIe's go here, and then your motherboard connector goes there. And without actually carrying around a bulky desktop power supply, you hit the power button and it'll tell you what the result is on the screen. So those are the bulk tools that I carry when I'm doing house calls, hopefully, so I can diagnose it properly. Just in case. Oh, one thing to show off, not a tool, but I look nice now. I have a shirt that tells everyone what I'm up to. So usually when I jump on camera and I have a stretched out shirt, I don't show up with my hair all flashily like this, or with a stretched out t-shirt. Just in case you're wondering, I'm always bitching about finding good work. I actually do put my hair in a ponytail, and I'm about due to shave this face off. But that's what's up. I got me new shirts. I've never had my own custom shirts before. Give me a call. I'm local in the South Bay. If you see this video, call me up, have a conversation. We'll figure out how I can help. That's it. I just felt like talking. Have a good day.